in the state of Mississippi, of course, but we're like the Swiss cheese of the state. So we're in different areas. We're from the coast to, I would say, Meridian's your north, Meridian, Lauderdale, and then of course you go to Forest, the west side, and then to the line of Alabama. 200,000 plus. So in 2020, we were deployed fully. All of our customers are now AMI customers. Prior to AMI, you do things a certain way. So you roll trucks. You roll trucks for everything. You read meters, you do connects, you disconnects. You follow up on those cutout non-pay orders and things like that. So some of the struggles, I think, would be, after we deployed, it was a great business decision, but it took the eyes out of the field. And so you don't see those things that those meter readers find every day, or those customer servicemen that you used to have. So you kind of lose control somewhat of that every day, or every month at the very least, finding lost revenue and tampering and things like that. Drivers for me, for our company using Operations Optimizer, would be, of course, the theft and the loss of revenue. But you don't know what you don't know. And so as we move forward using Operations Optimizer, we have found things like power quality issues in the field, which goes to neutrals that are bad, corrosion on meter bases. And so in those cases, you could also not fully capture the usage to the customer, so therefore also is lost revenue. So our revenue assurance program has been effective through OO. Prior to that, we used manual processes. Today, we use Operations Optimizer, which has a workflow in it. You can actually send orders to the field. However, we do use the notes process in Operations Optimizer and the silence feature, which kind of drives that workflow through. Do you want it to detect? Do you want to see that next month? Do you already know why it's unreachable? If you already know, then let's just silence that and get that out of our view. So some use cases that we found, we have several different views in Operations Optimizer. So I'd like to speak about two specifically, which would be the disconnected with events. Prior to Operations Optimizer and prior to deployment, actually, we would do a cut non-pay on a customer. They didn't pay their bill, they get cut out. 7 days later, another manual order is issued to the field. And so that's to put your eyes on it. But we don't have that anymore. We don't roll those trucks. So we now have this view in Operations Optimizer that shows us power ups and power downs on meters that were already disconnected. So we have found multiple theft cases where we cut their service off, and then they have pulled their meter out, put jumpers in there, and so we find those. So my most favorite use case would be the load side voltage. What that is, of course, you should have line side voltage, but on disconnected meters, you should not have load side voltage. So we sent an order through our CIS system to the field. So after the AMI tech investigated in the field and cut the transformer loose, opened the breakers, the meter was open, the air conditioning unit would continue to run in the window. So he investigated the property, realized a shed behind the house was ran by a transformer from a neighbor's house, just the way the system was built. And then he went to investigate that meter base and found wires coming from that meter base underground to the house. We cut the transformer loose, the customer came out of the house, he took off. Knew it was a theft. The guy in the field was like, how in the world did you know to send me out here? We've had some really good cases to find things. We often get the comments in the field, how did you know that? How did you see that? How did you know that was going on? So Operations Optimizer has been a really good tool. We're not the building department. We can go back and build 3 years, but because it's not keeping up with the usage. So they could go and get an estimated something, but they'll bill them for tampering and meters, because meters were some damaged, but yeah, they were smart. As far as running lines, because even the shed had no wires coming out from the bottom of the meter base. So usually you have those wires coming down from there. There were none. It was jumped out in the meter base behind the lugs and then ran somewhere through the building underground. I mean, there was nothing to detect it. It was a huge find. That would never have been found. In the communication to the guys in the field, that's another big part of it too. Had our AMI tech went out there and been like, this is fine. I don't see any tampering, complete the order. But the communication from the office to the field, also using Operations Optimizer, is a huge part of the success, because this field personnel realized, okay, they're detecting this. I can't just say this is no tampering. So we continued to look, and we actually collaborated with other departments. Electric Service Group came out there. So it was a huge find. So as we we go through these views in OO and we investigate these things in the field, we can recreate what we're seeing in the field by teaming up with the Itron team to say, okay, listen, this is a result we found. Help me find a view in OO that recreates this. And we have done that multiple times to find power quality issues, to find loose neutrals on transformers. We have found corrosion in meter bases and things like that. So, you know, we start out looking for one thing, and then we find other things, and then we can recreate that, create a view. We can adjust that view to days, to time. We had one view that we were looking at that it brought a lot of cutout non-pay accounts into it with the last 4 days, just the way that our data was, and bam, every one of them was a find. We're uncovering issues that we didn't even realize. So for other utilities that don't use this model, or maybe they're new to AMI, don't wait the 4 years. We've been 4 years post-deployment. So I would say this would be a good opportunity to go ahead and get on board, but it also gives you that next level of creativity that you've got to now have, and OO gives you that tool. It gives you a lot of data behind the scenes that may not show up in your AMM system that you have, that you are using right now. So this just gives you another level of information. So yes, I think it's a very effective thing.